government fund. The target audience, the peasant farmers, could be elevated to move into large-scale production. It will go a long way to have, precepts for certain rudimentary in economic development. And it is when you have the safety in food, in agricultural practices, that you begin to talk about, having anything producible looked into, anything manufacturing, anything industrial, and combining the industrial, sort of advancement and agricultural success are the only two factors that can culminate economic development in the real sense of it, in the practical sense of it, rather than moving around, in the name of bringing in foreign investors, that you spend billions of naira moving around the world to bring in an investor that even before you realize money you invested in moving around the world, why do you need to bring it in the first instance? You can start developing at your footstep. There is nothing that we cannot develop from our home here.
So you are saying state government should be dependent on what they
get from home. We start from home. Make use of our own youth. We start making of our own state. It develops us better. Better. This period is not yet the political period that will bring in details of our manifesto, and that's why I'm just trying to be very moderate in this discussion. When the whole here is opened for campaign, I will come back here to tell you details about the tenets of my industrial revolution, my agricultural revolution. Move those two lines pari passu. Move those two lines simultaneously. The result is economic advancement in Oyo State.
Now, let's talk about development, generally in Oyo State. Some areas, regions in the state have accused past and present administrations of lopsided development. People from Ibarakwa will ask questions about why their roads are not fixed. Okeogun, for example, will also ask questions about why they are not included in developmental schemes in the state, while Ogbomoso and Oyo will also, have complaints. Some have even said that the capital has gotten more attention than some other parts of the state. So what would you do differently if given the opportunity to balance development across all 33 local governments in the state?
All these complaints revolves around local government autonomy. A local government, if not treated as a reasonable third tier of this government, where their resources will be allowed to reach their, location, will continue with this type of problem. And all this, state governors had a lot of role to play. The president has been doing the little he could to encourage, to even preach the autonomy of the local government in no sense of it. If all these resources are, as it has been, recently unevenly distributed, gets to the hands of the local government administration in the appropriate magnitude. Appropriate magnitude, I mean. I think you know what I mean. There must be capital projects implementable by the local government administration as well. So before a local government or before a governor could be accused of embarking on a lopsided, physical project or development project in the urban centers, each of these parts of the state belongs to one local government or the other. What has the local government gotten to do? Are they sleeping? But these are the same period of time. Every one of them will complain that the allocation do not reach them, all this and that. They know and God knows.
When this administration came on board, this administration embarked on a journey to make sure that there's local government autonomy in Nigeria. One of the very people that were against this stance of the federal government was the Oyo State governor. In fact, at that time, he called it a distraction. And compared to what you have now, you mentioned security, and the member House of Assembly representing that particular constituency in Orire local government, there was a document that surfaced that he complained bitterly on the floor of the House about the influx of outsiders into that local government that they could not explain where they were coming from. That was about 3 years ago. And all of a sudden, we have an attack in that area. If there was local government autonomy, the local government can actually execute projects that can be compared to what a state government will actually do. We saw some projects recently executed by local governments in Lagos State compared to what some state governments are actually commissioning in their states. So if there is local government autonomy, how far do you think Oyo State would have been in the last 3 years?
We must have gone far beyond this stage. This is not the first state government we have in Oyo State. If you look at some previous governance before this one, hardly will you see a local government that will not execute probably third road or opening of new roads. Third, less than 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers within the tenure of 3 years. So, okay, out of all these complaints of these bad roads or whatever, remove 15 kilometers. Let people see 15 kilometers in good look. There will be an improved, omen in the local government areas. And even people complaining must have had a reduced tendency than this. Only if a governor is complaining or calling local government administration, a distraction, that's his own personal opinion. I am a thoroughly bred grassroots politician. I once served in the local government as the chief of staff decades ago, over more than 1 decade ago. I know what it entails. I know what local government stands for. So you cannot say somebody that become a governor or has never tasted, any office in the local government administration. You can't compare it with somebody that has passed through that stage. You have had their feelings. You have been in their shoe. You know what to say. You know what opinion you put up to reciprocate.
So how important is experience in governance?
Very, very important. Aside from in everything you do in life, experience is important. You cannot just I told people doesn't know, at times, I don't know. Governorship is not the starting point in political governance, in administration. You cannot just start off politics in wanting to become a governor of a state. Let us have a record of what we have done in your ward. Let us have a record of what we have done in your local government level before we be talking about your role or what do you want to put up at the state level. So it all assists one another. Experience matters a lot.
Okay, let's talk about godfatherism and money-back politics in Nigeria. Before now, we have seen how politics is played and how important a godfather is to achieving any kind of height in political governance in Nigeria generally, and of course in politics. So, do you think we have gotten that Nigeria and Oyo State is ripe enough to achieve any position without having a godfather or someone who bankrolls?
You see the anchor, the word godfatherism, I see it as a deceit. Whether you say you have godfathers, good luck to you. You don't have good fathers, good luck to you. Mark my word, godfatherism, palaver, it's never an argument, it's a mere deceit. There's nothing you do that you don't have mentors. Those mentors are also godfathers. Okay, I moved from APC now into PRP. Don't you know that I still have some people, elderly people at times, they could even use, they could still be mentors. And they will be in use for my ambition in one way or the other. What matters? Nothing can be blamed on any godfather. There is a godfather that destroyed this, or a godfather that make this or that thing. It's a deception. It's about you in question. It's about you coming on board to serve us. Let us hear from you. If you don't use godfather, you still use godmothers. If you don't use godmother, you see god youths. And what have you?
So, how important is money in politics, in Nigerian politics today?
How will you separate money from anything you want to do? How will you spend
Politics
money?
too expensive in Nigeria.
You don't compare Nigeria. You just go into whatever thing you want to do. This is Nigeria. Whatever thing we do in Nigeria, we pay for the price of whatever thing we are doing. So when you compare it to some other places, well, do you need, even in the first instance, do you need that comparison? Do you need it? This is Nigeria. This is our program. And it's about your party. It's about nobody's parties. So if the party sit down and say this is what they want to pay, another party member will not come and pay some kind of money. I'm in PRP now. I know how much I secure my form. It's the agreement of the membership of the party. So nobody forces it on them. If anybody is paying their own money, 100 million and above, nobody forces it on them. So the word expensive or not expensive doesn't come in. Do you even need that comparison?
Are you saying Nigeria is ripe enough to decide to go to a smaller party and win an election, or people still believe in the power of the big name?
Don't belabor yourself and be thinking of what has been happening. That has it happened? Memiko in sometimes ago, more than a decade ago, brought in Labour Party in the state. He moved out of PDP shortly before the election, put up Labour Party that are very hard in the state, in continue election and win. Political parties are not what you think they are. It is about the people. It's about the structure of the people that float such a political party. Political party is just a framework of, let me say, a constitutional framework. It's about the people within that determines the strength of such a political party. Today, you see people moving, the exodus movement from PDP to another party now. That party, I've ever had that party in our state. I don't think anybody ever heard of that party. Some people are there now. Getting to some villages, towns now, I'm coming from Kishi today, you see elements of existence. PRP, I was driving across a local government now, they saw me, people are just shouting, PRP, you understand? So, do they clamor for PRP before? Do they clamor about APM before? So, people moving from big party, whatever thing you think as big party, anyway, that's your definition, that a party is big or not big. I have a different opinion, anyway, as a politician, but that notwithstanding, okay, if you call it a big party, let us accept that do the people choose, moving or voting for big party, a small party? People have done it. Labour Party is an example more than a decade ago in Ondo State. Kwankwaso called me with NMPP, from period of time to the election, he won a whole of Kano State.
So, would you entertain talks about possible alliances and coalition before the election?
That one is normal. People, there will always be, minds of ideas crossbreeding. Let's do this together. And I told you there's no permanent friend, no permanent enemy in politics. Enemy today could be people that will corroborate. Okay, let's do this together to achieve this. Let's do that together to achieve. It's about the people interest. If your people say, okay, this is what they want. This is about democracy. It's about people. Let's do this, let's do that. When people say, you are a leader, because of this reason, because of this reason, because of this reason,
okay,
let us move. I have to. I don't own myself, they own me.
Okay, we have spoken about possible alliances, coalition before the election. Now, recently, there was a gathering in Ibadan of political stakeholders and the so-called opposition leaders in Nigeria. And just shortly after the meeting, and an agreement to field a singular presidential candidate into in 2027. Less than a week after that, we saw some of them moving from one political party to the other, and the whole agreement ended up in the bin. Was your political party PRP at that particular meeting? And if called upon, would you join the same that kind of movement before 2027?
I cannot join such. It is late.
Why?
I cannot join. I repeat, it is late. It will not work. Those are my three answers.
Why do you think it will not work?
Because I'm in this system for long. Anything like that will happen, it starts about 3 years back. You can't be talking about people that are ready to already pay their tents. Every party has its constitution well established. How will individual, because you want to run for presidency or want to run for governor, twat the direction or I don't know, the constitution of his political platform? He would rather leave that platform alone and be, doing whatever alliances he wants himself, without moving the party, structure and organs. So when we want to talk about such a coalition that will have a meaningful impact, it has to go to the grand, it has to go into a grand rearrangement. And that could be done 3 years, at least 3 years before election. So if anybody is gathering together now, opposition want to do this, it's better. Anyway, let us see. It's still an experiment. We'll all keep learning.
So if possibly you get elected as governor of Oyo State, what would you like to be known for? What legacy do you think you would like to lay down as someone who ruled Oyo State?
The major legacy I had been talking about, people had been seeing in me, will remain. And that is grassroots governance. Let the last person in this state, in the most remote point of location, felt involved in that administration. Let the most helpless person feel involved, feel carried along, feel catered for. And that is it. That is the philosophy of equity. That is the philosophy of social balance. And that is all.
Okay, still talking about you as a candidate of the PRP in the next general election. So, someone dropped a question for me and said, what shaped your experience and what shaped your orientation to choose this kind of philosophy going into the office of governor in Oyo State? What personal experience or political experience?
I grew from the grassroots. I joined political party, active political party, about 32 years ago, as party agents at elections. So I know how grassroots comforts, grassroots relevance to governance culminates overall and total government appreciation and success in the state.
Okay, someone dropped a comment and I would like to take this more like a question and also a comment. Is that the issue of political consistency, that's coming from Shola. Okay, you can read that username. The issue of political consistency is another concern many Nigerians raise whenever politicians move from one party to another. What would you say about political
Because they don't understand. Those who understand will heed to this word. Let me come again. In politics, there is no permanent friend or enemy. There is only a permanent interest. My own interest, since you have been seeing me at the state political interface, is about governorship. The party is always dynamic. Party are just like a framework, constitutional framework that can adopt or not adopt to execute my vision. The permanent interest is about governorship, governance.
Okay, Zeke drops this one and says the real battle ahead may not just be between political parties, but between old political traditions and demands for a new style of leadership. How soon do you think Nigerians can adopt the idea of new leadership?
Well, it's a process that cannot be timed. It's a process that happens like intellectual revolution. It is going to change gradually over time. If you look at what we do in the last 20, 30 years in Nigeria, we are getting gradually improved. As of today, you remember some years back, elections doesn't count. People will be running here and there snatching ballot boxes on the instructions of some leaders. Today, hardly will you see any reasonable person in the name of being a tout or being whatever thing they may call themselves, snatching ballot boxes again. Votes counts in the recent times. And it doesn't matter whether that party is in government or that party is not in government, people vote their interest and they have their results. Vote counts is an advancement, is a gradual transformation that is going, is going spontaneously. It may be slow in Nigeria, but it has started its orbit moving and to get improved. Let's see what happens in 2027 generation.
Okay, a lead-up question to what you said. Someone said, how do you intend to secure your votes in all polling units and wards across the state if during the election in 2027?
And let them see, vote and see now. We have constitution. Will I be holding gun to because of vote, or will I begin to do? I can only be in my polling unit. How will I be securing votes? The security agencies are there to secure votes. It is their job. It's not my own job. So let my own people just go to the poll and cast their vote as our own civic duty. Securing vote is not my own job. It is the job of the security agent. Let them still vote. We will meet in court, and you see that when you have tenable issues in court, you definitely win. We still have a reliable judiciary in Nigeria up to today. So we don't have any problem of that. And let whoever want to steal vote come on board and tell us how you want to steal the vote. You will meet us there.
Okay, lastly, I want to take this particular comment, and that talks about my guest. It says, interesting perspective from our guest tonight, especially on the question on whether smaller political parties can truly challenge the established structures in Oyo State politics. Someone also said many viewers will also be paying close attention to his reasons for leaving APC and whether ideology truly played a role in that political decision. So you have to respond to that. Did ideology play a role in why you left the APC for PR?
Yeah, ideology play a role.
Are you still a progressive?
Surely, very real one. Very real one. I'm a very real progressive. And if you've been following my political creed, I can even see that I'm one of the most conspicuous progressive in Oyo State arrangement. We do our things by the voices of our people. We don't crucify the interests of our people. When you lay down a role of operation as related to any political decision, we heed to it. We hearken to it. You cannot imagine, okay, a situation whereby about 10 people running for the councillorship, we have a time frame for them to show interest. We have a time frame for them to obtain nomination forms within the party. You started the form today that will run for like 7 or 10 days. And the second day of the buying of the form, that people will see, so many people will see buy up till the closing date, you start adopting a candidate. Is that a progressive thing? You can never see me in such a thing. I don't beat them when you cannot beat them. I prefer to move alone. I can't join evil at whatever stage. I know evil can defeat me. I don't join hands with evil, whatever. I stand with truism. I stand with modesty. I stand with normalcy. I stand with progressive. And I remain a progressive for life.
All right, Asiwaju, Dr. Yunesa Ayondoye, we say very big thank you for joining us in the studio this evening. Our time is fast spent. We would have loved to pick some phone calls, but then we got some really interesting comments that you were able to react to. I would do hope that we will bring you here when the time for our gubernatorial debate.
You don't have problem.
I would like to have you on the desk.
You don't have problem.
Thank you for being a part of the show.
Thank you too for reaching out to me. I really appreciate. This is Dominion TV.
Right.
This is the Poliscope.
Right.
I really adore you. I appreciate. You are wonderful.
Thank you so much. All right, it has been an engaging and an insightful conversation tonight on the Poliscope as we examined the emerging political landscape ahead of the 2027 governorship election in Oyo State. My sincere appreciation to my guest, Ashwaju Dr. Yunus Akazim Anyodoi, a gubernatorial aspirant of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, for sharing his thoughts, vision, and perspective on governance, ideology, and the future of Oyo State. And as always, democracy thrives when the people stay informed, ask questions, and actively participate in the political process. The road to 2027 might still be unfolding, but conversations like these remain important in helping citizens make informed decisions about leadership and accountability. Thank you for staying with us on the Poliscope on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun. And until next week, same time, same station, I say stay informed, stay engaged, and keep believing in the future of our democracy. Good night from here.